Nobody in this house understood the system, not at first. The woman figured it out eventually around week 3 when she found herself rearranging the refrigerator so the good stuff was easier to reach without thinking about why she was doing it. The man took considerably longer. He held out for 9 days, which was longer than most people manage, and which I considered a reasonable effort under the circumstances, but they all come around eventually. In my experience, they always do. My name is Beau. I am 6 years old, 12 pounds, and I have been running this household since approximately day 2 of my residence here. This is not something I planned in advance or announced. It is simply something that happened, the way gravity happens, or weather. You do not negotiate with gravity. You learn to understand it, and then you learn to work with it. And eventually, you stop thinking about it at all because it has simply become the shape of your life. The spoon was my first project. The man, his name is James, and he is reasonably intelligent for someone who spent 3 years saying clearly and repeatedly that he did not want a cat, eats breakfast at the kitchen counter every morning at exactly 6:47. He has done this for years. It is a good system. I respect consistency very much. What I did not respect in those first days was the fact that he was eating alone from a bowl with a spoon and not once considering that I might have thoughts about this arrangement or any interest in participating in it. I positioned myself 6 inches to his left on day 3, just to observe, just to understand what was happening and assess the overall situation from a reasonable distance. He ignored me. This was his first mistake, and it was also a perfectly understandable one. He did not yet know how any of this worked. On day 4, I moved to 4 inches. On day 5, 3. On day 6, I was close enough that the spoon passed approximately 8 centimeters from my face on each return journey to the bowl, and I tracked it with the focused attention it clearly deserved. He watched me watching it. He said nothing. I said nothing. We were both gathering information. On day 9, he offered me a small taste of whatever he was eating. I believe he did this out of curiosity about what would happen. I accepted with the dignity the moment required. I licked the spoon with appropriate thoroughness and then looked at him with the expression I have found communicates most efficiently in these situations. The expression that says, "Yes, this is correct. This is the beginning of our arrangement, and we are both going to be fine with it." He looked mildly confused. This was expected. Confusion is always temporary. Understanding comes in its own time, and James was beginning to understand. "I see you're still here but haven't subscribed yet. That honestly stings a little. Hit subscribe, you'll want to see what comes next." Let me explain something about Siberian cats that most people learn too late and usually in the middle of their kitchen. We are not decorative. We are not background animals who sit in pleasant corners looking atmospheric and low maintenance. We are participants. We have agendas. We have schedules. We have a very clear internal sense of how a household should be organized and a genuine and sustained interest in helping it get there. The woman understood this considerably faster than James did. She found me waiting by the food cabinet at 7:15 on day 4, assessed the situation in about 3 seconds, said, "Oh, you want breakfast," gave it to me, and that was that. Clean, efficient, immediate grasp of the relevant information. I respect her judgment enormously and have told her so on multiple occasions through the appropriate channels. James required a longer onboarding period. But he is trainable. You can tell a great deal about a person from how they eat breakfast. And once he understood a system, he followed it with genuine consistency. I recognized this quality early and considered it a significant point in his favor. I just needed to show him the system. By week 3, the morning arrangement was fully operational. I wait by the cabinet at 7:15. He opens it and serves my breakfast. I eat. He makes his coffee. I relocate to the counter with the ease of long habit. He eats his breakfast. We share the spoon. He behaves as though this is something that gradually happened to him, rather than something I designed and implemented deliberately over 9 days. I allow him this. It is important that humans retain some sense of agency in these situations. Morale is a real and meaningful variable. The desk situation resolved itself around week 4 without much difficulty. He works from home on certain days, and I identified quickly that the desk offered the best overall position for monitoring his productivity and providing the supervision that any focused work environment genuinely benefits from. I sit on the left side, facing him. He initially placed a book there to discourage this. I moved the book. He tried a small succulent. I considered the succulent, determined it was not serving any essential function, and relocated it to the floor. He has not attempted any further counter-programming since then. We have reached a stable and comfortable understanding. The couch position was fully established by month 2, left armrest facing into the room. This gives me complete visibility of the television, the main entrance, and approximately 70% of James's face during evening hours, which is a useful monitoring configuration. He occupies the remaining cushions. Some evenings, he looks at me and opens his mouth as though preparing to raise some kind of objection to the current arrangement. He has never actually said anything. This is what I would call meaningful progress. The Thursday in October was not part of any plan I had made. I want to be clear about this. I am not a therapist. I am a cat, and my focus is primarily operational. But I have lived in this house for 6 months at that point, and I know the difference between a regular 8 p.m. return and the particular manner in which James came through the front door that evening at 8:43. He sat down on the kitchen floor with his coat still on. I came to investigate. I sat in front of him and looked at him carefully for a long moment. He looked tired in the way that has nothing to do with sleep and everything to do with the kind of weight that builds up slowly and then arrives all at once on an unremarkable Thursday. I know what this requires. I stepped forward and pressed my head against his chin and stayed there without moving. 4 minutes. He needed 4 minutes. I stayed for 4 minutes. He told the woman about it later that night. She looked at me over his shoulder while he was talking. I looked back at her. We understood each other completely, as we generally do. Today, the house runs as it should. The cabinet opens at 7:15, the spoon is shared at 6:47, the desk is supervised on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the armrest is mine. James tells people he never wanted a cat, which is technically accurate and also completely beside the point. What matters is not what you thought you wanted before you understood the situation. What matters is what happens after you do. He understands the situation now. We are both entirely fine with how this turned out. Did the cat train the human, or did the human just think he was in charge the whole time? Tell me in the comments.